Toyota anti-theft system with engine immobilizer is kind of like the ultimate "nope, not today" response to car thieves. It doesn't just beep at them.
Brand new Toyotas are vanishing overnight, and the tool doing it is smaller than your phone. What dealers called smart entry, thieves call instant access. One hole behind the headlight, one signal spoof, and your $80,000 truck is gone before sunrise. Ignore this, and you're staring at $4,000 in repairs, a 30% insurance hike, and wrecked resale. Stay to the end. I'll show which Toyotas are wide open right now, and the one fix that stops it cold. The betrayal nobody saw coming. You buy a brand new Toyota because it's supposed to be bulletproof. It's the brand your dad trusted, the one you tell your friends will run forever. But right now, thieves are stealing them with a tool no bigger than a phone. And Toyota still hasn't warned us. These aren't decade-old beaters left unlocked on dark streets. These are showroom fresh vehicles sitting in our driveways, paid for with real money and real pride. We worked for these trucks, we maintain them, and we trust the badge. That's what makes this sting so deep. When you see footage of thieves walking up to a 200 series Land Cruiser at 2 in the morning, drilling a small hole near the headlight, plugging in a device, and driving off without a key, it feels personal. It feels like a violation of trust, not just property. And it's not rare anymore. From Melbourne to Michigan, from Sydney to Seattle, that same quiet method is taking thousands of cars before the owners even wake up. Toyota built its reputation on reliability, but reliability doesn't mean much if someone else can drive your reliability away in 60 seconds. We expect better, not excuses. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly if your Toyota's one of the easy targets and what you can do tonight to stop it. But first, let's talk about what this wave of thefts is really costing regular people like us, because the numbers will make your mouth drop. What it's costing regular people. For most of us, a vehicle isn't a toy. It's the most expensive thing we own after our house. When that disappears, the loss is more than metal. It's our savings, our credit, our sense of safety. The theft of a modern Toyota doesn't just take the car, it wrecks the owner's finances for months. You lose your transportation, your insurance premium skyrockets, and your resale value tanks even if you get the car back. Let's put it in real numbers. A basic repair after a theft attempt, rewiring a harness or replacing the immobilizer, costs between $1,500 and $4,000 out of pocket if insurance pushes back. Owners report resale drops of 15 to 25% once a theft history hits the record. And if you file a claim, most insurers raise your premium by around 30%. That's money gone before your morning coffee. Now, look at what's happening in Victoria, Australia. In the past 12 months alone, thefts have spiked 40%. That's nearly 30,000 cars gone. About 80 families every single day walking outside and finding an empty driveway. Imagine working overtime to afford a car and then having to fight your insurer for months while payments continue. It's not a headline, it's heartbreak. We're paying for engineering shortcuts that made theft easier, and the automaker still calls it driver error. But here's the thing, we've got proof that it's not on us, because when you see the evidence piling up, you'll realize this isn't paranoia. It's reality that's been ignored for too long. If this breakdown already opened your eyes, hit subscribe right now and drop a comment with your model and year. We're tracking which Toyotas are getting hit hardest next. We're not crazy, it's real. Every time we talk about this issue, someone says, come on, cars aren't that easy to steal anymore. But we're not guessing. We have receipts, straight from police, experts, and even Toyota itself. Police departments across Australia, the United Kingdom, and North America have issued formal alerts warning that a sophisticated device, often called a CAN injection tool, has been linked to thousands of Toyota thefts. Investigators describe thieves walking up, piercing the headlight housing, connecting to the car's internal network, and tricking the system into thinking the real key is present. The doors unlock, the immobilizer shuts off, and the engine starts. No alarm, no noise, just gone. Security researchers who reverse engineered the exploit proved how it works. The tool mimics the communication between your smart key and your vehicle. It even sends a final signal that disables the tracking module so your Toyota app can't locate the car after it's taken. That's why so many owners report their app showing module offline right after the theft. And here's the real smoking gun. Toyota in the United Kingdom quietly acknowledged the issue. They offered customers free headlight shields and security upgrades on affected models, confirming they knew the weak spot existed. Yet in other regions, including Australia and North America, owners are told, we're looking into it. That's not protection, that's public relations. We didn't imagine this. We're not exaggerating. The data is right there, so now we know it's real. But how did they let it get this bad? To answer that, we have to see who's actually in the danger zone, because depending on what you drive, safe, your risk isn't just high, it's guaranteed. Who's actually at risk? Not every Toyota is vulnerable, but the ones that make up the majority of what's on the road today. If you drive a keyless Toyota or Lexus built between 2020 and 2025, your vehicle is in the red zone. That includes popular models like the RAV4, the Land Cruiser 300, and the Prado 250. These vehicles share similar electronic backbones, and thieves have mapped them out like blueprints. Owners who park outdoors or rely solely on factory keyless entry are most exposed. It doesn't matter if you live in a quiet suburb or a gated community. Thieves don't care. They target convenience and predictability, the two things these systems were designed to offer us. If you're lucky enough to have a garage or you've invested in an aftermarket immobilizer, you're sitting in the yellow zone. You're not completely safe, but you've added friction. Thieves want fast, easy jobs. When they sense resistance, they move on. Think of it as locking your digital doors as well as your physical ones. Older models with physical keys or newly produced Toyotas that have received internal security revisions sit in the green zone. These cars still face risk, but the exploit doesn't apply the same way. The difference is a few circuits and a corporate decision, one that could have protected everyone if implemented sooner. Knowing where you fall on that map changes everything. It's not about scaring you, it's about awareness, because once you know you're in the red, you can act before the problem finds you. Now that we know who's bleeding, let's find out why Toyota let it happen and what they could have done years ago to stop it. The convenience trap. For decades, Toyota built its image on trust, toughness, and simplicity. But in the last few years, they decided people wanted more buttons and less effort. Push-button start, keyless entry, remote everything. They bragged about luxury while quietly removing the very layers of security that made these vehicles legendary. It was a marketing dream and an engineering nightmare. The convenience sold cars, but it also sold us out. Inside Toyota's own engineering department, people raised red flags years ago. Internal reports warned that moving critical commands like locking, starting, and tracking onto a shared digital line could be exploited if someone found a way to talk to that line. Management heard the warnings and pushed ahead anyway. Why? Because customers loved the words smart key and hands-free. It made ads sparkle and profits climb. The engineers who wanted fixes were told to focus on launch deadlines, not long-term protection. And when owners discovered how vulnerable their cars were, Toyota offered a simple response: buy third-party immobilizers at your own risk. But here's the insult: install that immobilizer, and they can use it as a reason to deny warranty claims. We pay extra to protect our vehicles, and somehow we're the ones breaking the rules. That's not customer care. That's corporate blame shifting. They called it smart key. Turns out it's smart for thieves. If that sounds bad, wait until you hear what's happening inside the car's software. Because even when it's parked in your driveway, the real danger might already be running. The silent software problem. Modern cars are computers on wheels, and like any computer, they update themselves. The problem is, we never see what those updates really do. Toyota vehicles now download patches automatically through their built-in connection, but the company rarely discloses what's being changed. It could be a fix, or it could be another gap waiting to be found. Every time that silent progress bar fills, owners assume their cars are safer. The truth is, nobody outside the factory knows for sure. The system that controls communication between the car and Toyota's servers is called the Data Communication Module, or DCM. It's supposed to help find your car if it's stolen, but thieves have figured out how to disable it in seconds. Once they trigger a fake service mode, the tracker shuts off and your Toyota app goes dark. It's like pulling the plug on a security camera before robbing the store. Police reports show that in many thefts, the tracking function stops exactly 1 minute before the car disappears from the driveway. One owner described calling Toyota right after his Land Cruiser vanished. He told them, "My tracker isn't working." The customer service rep replied, "The module isn't on." His response was simple: "I didn't turn it off." That one sentence sums up the entire problem. The technology built to protect us can be turned against us, and the company's own tools can't explain why. If the software's this weak, maybe the hardware can save us, right? Not quite. Because once you open the hood on how the wiring is built, it becomes painfully clear that Toyota didn't just make a software mistake. They left the door open on purpose. The hardware oversight. Every modern Toyota runs on a network of wires called the Controller Area Network, the backbone that connects every electronic command. Engineers call it the CAN bus. It's a system meant to help your car run smoothly, sending messages between the brakes, locks, and lights. But it wasn't built to resist criminals. Thieves learned that if they can reach the right cable, they can talk directly to the car's brain, and Toyota made that cable way too easy to reach. On models like the RAV4, thieves pop the front bumper, reach behind the headlight, and plug into the network. On a Land Cruiser 300, it's the side door harness. The location changes, but the weakness stays the same. All they need is a small hole, a wire, and a tool that costs less than a few $1,000s. In less than 60 seconds, the car believes the thief is holding the key and starts right up. It's not hacking in the movies. It's a plug-and-play disaster. The most infuriating part? Toyota already knows how to fix it. In the United United Kingdom, they quietly started installing metal shield plates around the vulnerable wires. They even offered them free to owners who complained. But in other regions, Australia, the United States, Canada, there's nothing. Same company, same flaw, two completely different responses. Why are we treated like the test market? Why do they protect one group of customers while leaving the rest exposed? If the brand won't protect us, we'll protect ourselves. And we're not the only ones sounding the alarm. Law enforcement agencies around the world are finally confirming what we've been shouting for months. The authorities alarm. When the police start issuing nationwide alerts, you know the problem isn't just online chatter anymore. Authorities across Australia, Canada, and the United States are warning that organized theft rings are now targeting Toyota and Lexus vehicles with high-tech tools. These aren't random break-ins. They're coordinated, professional operations that know exactly where to drill, where to plug in, and how to disappear within minutes. The police call it the high-tech theft wave. We call it being left exposed by the very people we trusted to keep our cars secure. Investigators say the same pattern keeps showing up. Late-night theft, no broken glass, no forced entry, and no trace on the tracker. When they recover the vehicles, the wiring around the headlights or doors is damaged in the exact same spot. Officers admit privately that manufacturers are moving too slowly to update software or redesign parts. In one case, detectives traced a stolen Land Cruiser from Melbourne to a shipping port within 48 hours, already loaded in a container bound for another continent. While police are fighting international networks, we're still arguing with customer service about why our warranty might not cover a third-party immobilizer. It's absurd. The public sees criminals adapting faster than the automakers, and the sense of helplessness is turning into anger. That's why this channel exists, to track what they won't, to tell you before it happens, and to show how we fight back together. We share this information not to scare you, but to give you an edge, because when the corporations move slow and the thieves move fast, ordinary owners like us have to move smarter. So here's how we take back control. Smart buys and wait plays. The worst mistake owners can make right now is panic selling. The second worst is rushing into a new purchase without doing their homework. The headlines make it sound like every Toyota is doomed, but that is not the full picture. The truth is, some builds are already safer than others, and that means there is room to play smart, not scared. The first rule is simple. Never buy a keyless Toyota unless it has a verified shield kit already installed. Those plates are not an optional accessory. They are the difference between a quiet night's sleep and a driveway full of regret. Look for models built after October 2022 and ask for the Vehicle Identification Number Report. Tell dealers, before I buy, I need written proof your dealer-installed shield is under factory warranty. If not, I'm out. Play smart, because protecting your wallet is one thing, but protecting the car that carries your family takes a different kind of preparation, one that starts before you even turn the key. Build your security stack. If Toyota will not build enough protection in, then we will build our own. A strong defense is not complicated. It is layered. The first layer is visual deterrence. Thieves look for easy targets, and anything that screams extra time required makes them move on. Steering wheel locks, visible alarms, and motion-activated driveway lights are not old-fashioned. They are smart insurance. They tell a thief, go bother someone else. The second layer is signal control. Keyless entry fobs constantly send out tiny radio signals, and thieves use amplifiers to catch them from outside your house. Keep your keys inside a Faraday pouch or metal box at night. It is a $10 fix that stops a $5,000 problem. And yes, it really works. There is nothing high-tech about being cautious. The third layer is hard security. A physical can shield, immobilizer, or GPS tracker reporting in a secure location. Pick what fits risk zone. These measures buy time and protect your investment from thieves. Insurers, lift the hood now. To understand how to stop it, we first need to understand how it works, and it is simpler and scarier than most people think. If this helped you protect your car or wallet, subscribe now. Every day, we expose what automakers won't admit before the next wave of thefts hits your driveway. How they do it and how we stop it. Imagine your car as a group chat between its electronic parts. The engine, the locks, the key sensor, all of them are sending quick messages back and forth all the time. Now imagine a thief sneaking into that chat with a fake profile that looks exactly like your key. They send a message that says, "Hey, the owner is here. Unlock the doors." The car, trusting what it hears, replies, "Welcome back." The thief then types the next command. Start the engine. The car obeys, and before you have finished brushing your teeth, it is gone. The CAN bus injection exploits a trust flaw. The car accepts fake messages. Thieves shut off the tracker so your Toyota app shows module offline. The fix is a gatekeeper chip verifying messages. Some European models have it, others need aftermarket protection. Because knowledge means nothing if you cannot tell myth from fact. And when it comes to car security, the myths are half the problem. Myth versus fact. One of the biggest myths floating around right now is that your Toyota app will save you if the car is stolen. People assume that because they can see their vehicle on a map, it must be safe. But that tracking feature depends entirely on a tiny module that thieves can shut down before the app even loads. The harsh reality is that by the time you open your phone, your car could already be on a truck headed for a shipping container. Here is the fact. The moment thieves connect to the system, they can send a false command that puts the communication module into service mode. Once that happens, your phone cannot talk to the car anymore. The screen might still show its last known position, but it is a ghost image, not live tracking. That is why police departments tell owners not to rely solely on manufacturer apps. If you still want digital security, add an independent tracker that cannot be reached through the car's network. Some owners set tamper alerts so that if the module is ever switched off, they get a text message immediately. It is a simple, quiet way to stay one step ahead. No panic, no guessing, just information. Every myth that gets debunked turns into confidence. We start the video angry, but we end it aware, informed, and ready to act. But what if you have already bought the car and you are stuck with it? Here's your next move: the owner decision tree. Here's the truth. There's no single fix that works for everyone. The right move depends on how you use your vehicle, where you park it, and how long you plan to keep it. That's why we built a simple owner decision tree, because protecting your car shouldn't feel like a guessing game. If you're a commuter who drives to work and back every day, your focus should be on affordable, high-impact prevention. For under $1,500, you can secure your key fob with a Faraday pouch, add a steering lock, and set motion lighting around your driveway. You don't need expensive gadgets, just smart habits. For work owners, invest about $3,000 in an immobilizer and OBD lock to guard your livelihood. Long-term keepers should document shields, keep invoices and photos, update insurance. Proof protects resale value and secures coverage if a claim arises. You've got options, real, proven ones. Screenshot the checklist, lock in your layers, and protect what you own. But here's the twist most drivers miss. This isn't just a Toyota problem anymore. The same silent tool that cracks their systems is already showing up in other brands, and the wave is spreading faster than anyone expected. The cross-brand shockwave. You'd think this was just Toyota's nightmare, but the truth is, the same silent tool doesn't stop there. Security analysts are now tracing identical network attacks across Nissan, Lexus, Hyundai, and even Ford SUVs that use similar smart entry circuits. Different badges, same blueprint. The criminals aren't loyal to a logo. They follow whatever system talks the loudest and trusts too easily. One European task force called it the most profitable copy and paste crime in auto history. That's because once thieves map one brand's weak point, they simply adjust the software and move on to the next. In other words, if it connects, it's a candidate. This isn't about singling out Toyota anymore. It's about the industry repeating the same mistake. We're not just protecting a brand, we're protecting a generation of vehicles built on the same digital bones. Because the tool that started with Toyotas is already spreading. Your driveway might not hold a Toyota today, but the same silence from automakers means yours could be next. Let's look at how this wave is already hitting home. In real cities, real neighborhoods, and right under our headlights. The local reality. In my city alone, nearly 80 Toyotas vanish every single day. That's not a statistic. That's a neighborhood disappearing, one driveway at a time. And yet, something powerful is happening. Some of us aren't victims anymore. Owners are learning, sharing, installing shields, and catching thieves off guard. We're fighting back, not with panic, but with preparation. You've seen the comments under our videos. Real people sharing real wins. They tried my RAV4 last night, but the immobilizer stopped them. Got my Faraday pouch and my insurance rate stayed flat. Every comment like that proves one thing. Community beats chaos. This isn't brand loyalty. It's protecting what we've earned. Our trucks hold years of work, trips, and overtime. No thief or corporation takes that. When someone says, "It's just a car," we answer, "Not to us. We built this movement together." We've seen how close this hits. Neighbors losing cars overnight, owners fighting back, communities refusing to stay quiet. But the more we dig, the clearer it gets. This isn't just a crime wave. It's a supply chain. The same tool showing up in driveways across the world isn't spreading by accident. It's being built, sold, and upgraded in the shadows. And the deeper we trace it, the darker the trail becomes. The hidden network behind the tool. Every story has a villain, but this one doesn't wear a mask. It sells online. Investigators tracing the can injector trail found something darker than a few car thieves. A full-blown marketplace where digital locksmith gear moves like sneakers. Some sites even label them diagnostic modules or remote start testers, complete with manuals and overnight shipping. Legal on paper, devastating in driveways. The tool that steals steals Toyotas was born in the same gray zone where hackers and mechanics blur together. One firmware update, one renamed cable, and it passes every customs check. Within weeks, clones appear across Europe, Asia, and now North America, cheaper, faster, and redesigned for multiple brands. What started as a technician's aid has turned into a weapon anyone can buy with 2 clicks and a crypto wallet. Authorities know the forums, so do the automakers, yet the listings keep multiplying because every model that shares the same network language becomes a new sales opportunity. This isn't random theft anymore, it's an industry, and every car on a smart key is part of its business plan. So when we say other brands are next, it's not a warning, it's a timeline. The same tool, the same code, just wearing a different badge. They built the systems, thieves learned the code, but we built the community that fights back. And as long as this tool keeps spreading, so will we. Faster, louder, and smarter. We can't wait for automakers to fix it. We fix it together. Subscribe, share this, and tell me your state and year in the pinned question. Real owners, real data, real wins. I'll see you in the next one.